Hello everybody and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. We are now on Season 4. We are here at Monza. If you haven't seen the last one from Zandvoort, good, you know what, don't bother. Our race was a disaster. I ended up in the wall, out of the race, but here we are now pushing to do better. Also, if you haven't heard my announcement, we are going to be doing one further season of Career Mode. We have got a Season 5 recorded, I just need to throw a commentary over it, and I cannot wait to show you guys it. And hopefully, I'll be pushing to have them all out in time for F1 2022 to come out. I'm so excited for that game. I'm excited to try out the new handling model, and whatever else that game has to throw at me. But for now, we're here at Monza, and we are trying to qualify. I've got a nice little tow from Zhou Guanyu here, so that's going to help as we set the fastest time there. So it's going to be full steam ahead now to get all these episodes, all these races out in time for Season 5. But guys, what has been your highlight of this career mode? Or, in your opinion, the best race I did? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts on that one. But for now, let's focus on this qualifying session here at Monza. We're trying to get a good qualifying in, and so far we're seeming so good, but that little clobber at the curb isn't going to help me as we now head into the two Lesmos. Max Verstappen doing a 1:18.4 there. That's a good time. Red Bull definitely seem to have an advantage, it would be fair to say, at this stage of the season. They've just been mighty quick, but hopefully here we can be quicker and we can get a great result for the team. I'm starting to think about now, when is it going to be possible to clinch the Constructors' Trophy? And I don't think we're that far off it now. Leclerc sets a brilliant time, a 1:17.9. I am ever so glad, by the way, that we are looking at winning the Constructors' Trophy, which is what I set out to do for the Season 4. And as you can see, we've gone third, which for now isn't good enough, but I'm doing a second lap. I want that pole position. I am pushing hard to get it, and we've made huge improvements on this lap. So I don't know where I really went wrong, but look at that. 1:16.9. That is a brilliant time. Unfortunately, Leclerc dropped from first to fifth, so we really needed to get that faster time in. And Verstappen is down to ninth, so it's not too good for Red Bull at this point.
It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
From the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Joker lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Leclerc, Valtteri Bottas, and Lundgaard, Giovinazzi, Verstappen, Ricciardo, and Lando Norris, Tsunoda, Gasly, and Guanyu Zhou, and Vettel, Eilert, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, and Robert Schwartzman, Mazepin, Stroll, Latifi, and Artem Markelov. It's almost time for those 5 red lights.
It's time for Monza. It's 27 laps. I've got a Red Bull alongside me. I've got Sainz in third, impressing the Tifosi. It is lights out and away we go, and straight away I go to cover George Russell. Look at Leclerc from the second row though, from 4th on the grid. He has got around Russell and gone straight into the lead. Yellow flag behind me, so I have to see what's gone on there. Leclerc into the lead. I'm not going to fight him too hard on that, and I think an Aston Martin's been hit there. Trying to figure out who's hit him, and oh, it's Schwartzman. Schwartzman has just piled into him. That is not a way to impress the Tifosi, Robbie. Schwartzman piling into that car. Sainz taking second off me. That is a way to impress the Tifosi. And the virtual safety car has come out because of Schwartzman, who goes on to retire. Like I said, the Tifosi will not be happy with that. And his disaster of a Ferrari season continues. I'm amazed that he kept him on for the second half of the season. Right, back with the race now, and Sainz is holding on to second, but I've got overtake on, and I've got a bit of a slipstream here. We're going to try and find a way through. Sainz covers the inside. I'm going to try and go around the outside. I'm going to outbrake him around the outside. I've given him space. He kind of tagged me a little bit there, but we got away with it, and up into P2 we go. So Sainz making a bit of contact with me there. I gave him the space, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. Sainz, I think, has retained damage from it. And look at Giovinazzi in his home race, fighting the Red Bulls in that Alpine. This is incredible to see. Giovinazzi has got past George Russell in the Red Bull. And now Russell's trying to come back at him, and Verstappen nearly boxing him in there behind Giovinazzi. But now we've got Russell trying to go around the outside. But the Alpine driver has the inside line there, but Russell just schools him using that outside line, but he's not quite got the exit out of the second part of the chicane, and I think that's going to be enough for Giovinazzi to hold it. No, Russell's still alongside him, side by side round the Curva Grande. This is great racing between Russell and Giovinazzi, but eventually Giovinazzi succumbs to the Red Bull, and that is third place for Russell. Now Verstappen's going to want a piece of the action. And Tsunoda is right there in case this goes wrong. Look at Verstappen now going to the outside of the Alpine. And Verstappen getting that, well, trying to get that move done. But again, Giovinazzi just holding the position really well. And again, they're going to go side by side around the Curva Grande. The racing here is superb. This is more entertaining to watch here than what my angle of it was. Because I assure you my angle of it at this point wasn't all that interesting. Giovinazzi then keeping that position, but next lap, Verstappen's going to have another go. In fact, Tsunoda's now getting in on this. It's going to be 3 wide heading into the first chicane. Tsunoda's got the inside line. Is he going to take them both? He's made contact with Giovinazzi there. How did that not end nastier with 3 of them going side by side for that entire chicane? Tsunoda just nipping down the inside, and he's overtaken them both. That is an incredible bit of driving by Tsunoda. He saw that one and he took advantage, and now Verstappen is going to do the same while Giovinazzi's having to go at Tsunoda. Tsunoda, the one without the DRS, heavily disadvantaged, and Giovinazzi back in position, but now Verstappen going around the outside, and it's Verstappen that has now got 2 in 1. What a great move by him. And we're now seeing a McLaren grinding to a halt. I think that's Lando Norris. So that's unfortunate to see him grinding to a halt. And we're also going to see, I think, Mick Schumacher with a puncture. I haven't seen one of those in this game for a while. So I haven't seen an AI get a puncture in a while. So that's a strange one. But the Haas is now crawling with half a tyre. I told you my angle of it wasn't that interesting. And it isn't. I'm within the DRS of Leclerc now. I had been sort of hovering between a second to 2 seconds behind him, but over the last lap I have gained, but I'm not close enough to have a look down the inside and maybe try and get that move done. So right now my plan is to bide my time and try and get a cheeky little undercut, which is exactly what we've gone for. I have now pitted. Giovinazzi takes the lead, Vettel takes second, but of course those two have yet to pit, but the crucial thing is Leclerc is now behind me. So we didn't get an undercut as such, we got an overcut, and that really worked. So up into, well, what is effectively the race lead. What is this top 5 at the moment? Giovinazzi, Vettel, myself, Leclerc, Markelov. That's a top 5 you'll never see in F1. And now Leclerc is coming at me. He is really attacking me here. He wants this win. He wants to put himself in championship contention. He may be 75 points behind, but nobody's told him that. He is going for this win here. And, well, if I do that again, he might get it. And, in fact, he's got a great run there after I make a mistake. Leclerc down the inside of the Lesmo. I've gone to the outside. I've given him space. Leclerc still there. And I think at this point I have to concede. Good move by Charles Leclerc to take the lead, but I want that back. Am I going to get the DRS down the back straight here? Yes, I do. Oh! I tell you what, that was a bit of late defending from Leclerc there. I nearly went into him. How aggressively does my teammate want to defend that? That was very late move to defend from Leclerc. I don't know if I just came in too hot or what, but that was very nearly a nasty collision. But we're now heading to the back straight. The pit straight, sorry, not the back straight. And I'm going to have full DRS. I'm going to have overtake. And we are going to try and get this move done. I'm getting closer, closer, closer. He's going to go defensive. I'm going to go to the left. And we've got the move done before the corner. So the race lead once again changing hands. But that's a very tight line in through there. And Leclerc trying to get the up and under, but he didn't quite get the exit. You saw he got a little bit squirmy on the exit, and I have pulled out a bit of a gap now as we get to lap 15, and, well, I've set a fastest lap. That just sets a marker. Not happening, sunshine. You are going to have to push a lot harder than that. And in fact, Leclerc has now made a push because he's got the gap back down to just under a second, so it's very much swings and roundabouts in this race. I'll have the pace for a lap, then Leclerc will have the pace as we clobber the curbs. Oh, I've clobbered the curb too hard. I'm in the gravel, and that's surely going to give the lead back to Leclerc. It does give the lead back to Leclerc. That curb is lethal. I just went in too hot, trying to keep the gap up because Leclerc had got into the DRS, clobbered the curb too hard, and went into the gravel. That is a mistake I could not afford to make. But again, I have caught back up with him, so it's very much yo-yoing the pace between us two, as I'm now going to try and go to the outside of Leclerc on lap 23 and get the lead back. This is what I have done. This is a duel between teammates here at Monza. The former Tifosi sweetheart Leclerc versus myself. I know who they'd rather win at this point. Also, where is Carlos Sainz? Oh yeah, he pitted, didn't he? Briefly forgot what's happened in this race. So much has happened. Right, Leclerc down the inside of one of the Lesmos, covering him off though. But he's going to have the DRS here. But he's not got the greatest exit out of the second Lesmo. And I think that is just going to cover me until we get to the main pit straight. I am going to be covered. I am fine here. And part of me is just wondering, should I let him go down the inside of Parabolica and just try and do a Leclerc and let him go just before the detection point. Anyway, Leclerc's now going down the inside of me at Ascari. You know what? That's fine because I will get that back on the pit straight. Oh, that is a weird way to do it. Leclerc diving through. I try to give him space, but he then bangs wheels with me as I'm on the outside. I gave you the room, mate. I don't know what more you wanted there, but this is exactly where I want to be because now we're going to have the DRS on the main straight. But the one thing I've got to be careful of now is that George Russell is right there in P3 and we do not want to let him through because we've got a 1-2 here. But at the same time, I want this win. I haven't won at Monza yet. I want that to change. Season 2 we came so close to winning until I clobbered Markelov in the back. We got the move done, but then we out-braked ourselves, went across the chicane. I was just saying how we got P2 in a race. Actually, no, we can't talk now because Russell is all over my back. As I've gone wide again in the first Lesmo, we're going to take the second one and get a bit wide. And Russell's got into us and into the wall he goes. And that is the end of his race. What did Russell do here? Well, we'd got a bit wide and he just carried full momentum into us there. So that was a little bit silly. And Giovinazzi, oh no! Giovinazzi there throwing away a really good result and damaging his car. That is so unfortunate for him. He was doing so well. But you'll see here now from Russell's view, I've gone wide. Russell's tucked in right behind. I was under pressure here. And then I go wide again, but Russell just tapping my car. And you see Verstappen going into Russell there as well. Lap 26, and Giovinazzi going into him too. And that's going to do damage to his car, and that really ruins Alpine's race as a result. So it was Daniel Ricciardo that must have been out of the race at the beginning in the McLaren, because Lando Norris is 4th. And as a result, the whole top 5 has changed. Leclerc is going to win out on this duel. I'm going to finish 2nd, but wow, Red Bull kind of imploded on that one. And Pierre Gasly, former IRL winner of Monza, is going to be 3rd. I was going to say in Season 2 we nearly won, but we got 2nd because I clobbered into Markelov, who somehow won that race. That was a crazy race back in Season 2. But in Season 4, it is Charles Leclerc, with me finishing 2nd.
Yes, we're on the podium. Good job this weekend, great drive, thank you.
And with that, we wrap up yet another incredible Grand Prix weekend. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
Oh, need to get my breath back after that. It was just all happening at once there, especially in the last few laps. But anyway, it's a Joe H2012 with Charles Leclerc taking the win. I managed to keep 2nd and the fastest lap in doing so. So that's a great team result, and with both Red Bulls really imploding at the end. That really helps us in the constructors fight. Gasly taking 3rd, and then Norris and Bottas rounding out the top 5, and Giovinazzi still getting 6th, so he still manages to retain a somewhat decent result. I feel like without him having to take random avoiding action of Russell, there might have been a podium up for grabs there. And the two Red Bulls did go into each other with Russell facing backwards. You can see in the standings now, Leclerc has brought the gap down just a little bit. So he's starting to get a sniff of a title here. Gasly moving up to 3rd and Norris moving up to 8th. But what I want to know is, why have Ferrari retained Schwartzman when he's only got 5 points so far this season? It's been a miserable year for him. Well, thank you for watching this installment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you're new here. And until the next time, I've been Joe. Thank you for watching. TTFN, guys. Ta-ta for now.